Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of The Repositioning Expert, coming to you live with another Tuesday Tea Time with Chala. Here is a sip. Oh, that's a big sip. All right. Are you wasting your marketing dollars? How do you know? This is what happens when you start working with my company, when you hire me as a client. First, we look at, who's actually looking at their stuff. Almost 89% of small businesses who measure their ROI actually from marketing are unsure if their strategy was successful. And this is according to Constant Contact research. And worse than that, a quarter of them don't even know where their leads really come from. They don't know where their success comes from. So the first thing that when I start working with new clients, the first thing that I ask is, are you getting enough meetings, or are you getting enough closes? So where's the problem? Are you getting in and not closing, or you can't even get the meetings? And a lot of the times they're saying they're not getting enough meetings, but I'll tell you that once we start to talk, I find out that they're not really even doing the right things. One, they don't have the right marketing to get in front of the right people. And two, I find out that they're not even saying the right things in the meeting to be able to close. And so they think they're doing the right things to close, but they're not. Now, so the first thing that we ask, of course, is what is your current spend? What are you spending on? And what's the ROI? How many sales meetings are you having per month? And how many of them are closing? And then we take it all down and then we start from scratch. We do something called a blue sky approach, where we look at every single industry and problem and every single pain point, and we take at least 3 pain points in every industry that you can solve. And then we look at them. And why are we doing this? Because we want to create something called a super niche, meaning we want to pick one industry that you're going to grow in a very short amount of time, and one pain point, so that you can own and become an expert, a thought leader around that pain point. So that's step number two. The first one was we ask about what's happening, state of the nation. And number two is we do the blue sky, and then we look at what exactly are the industries and the pain points that we can actually help. And then we have a scoring. We have a proprietary scoring that I've developed in my years at, while I learned how to do actual market research at Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Frito-Lay, because nothing ever hit the shelves until we had safety and security from consumers telling us they loved it. So that's what I created for small businesses once I had my own practice. And this vetting of the blue sky is actually figuring out, where is the market, where's the appetite, where's your appetite, and who will pay you the most amount of money. So then the next step is we rate them for a fit for you and your culture and your experience and background. For example, I had a client who was a vegan, and one of her biggest clients was a meat company, but she did not have any appetite, no pun intended, to work with more meat companies. And so that niche would have been a miserable niche for her, because the fit for her out of 10 when we scored it was a 0. The next thing that we rate is the ability to network within the chosen industry. What are your natural networks within that industry? Now, some clients come from that industry, so it's a given, and other clients just want to be away from that industry. But do they have enough natural networks, or do these decision makers that you need to sell to self-gather in large numbers in their own industry that you can easily penetrate? So for example, I had a client who wanted to penetrate, she wanted to target physicians. It was a very, very difficult target for her. She didn't even know any physicians, and it was very difficult for her to get to them because they don't easily network and they're time starved. So, her score out of 10 was like a 2. So that was not a natural super niche for her. The next thing that we rate on the feasibility score is, of course, the feasibility of getting paid what you want to get paid in that industry for fixing that very specific problem. And again, we're doing a back of the envelope, we're guessing, but it's to be able to put together a strategy based on our best guesses and our gut. And however many years that you've been doing your business, however many years I've been doing business, helping thousands of students go through and clients go through this exercise. And we come up with a three main industries with three different pain points that we'd like to focus on. And we want to see what industry and pain point super niche is going to be our ultimate strategy going forward so that you can grow fast. And we score them on paper, even though it's a guess, but it's our gut. And every experiment starts with a theory, and so that's our theory. Now, the next is we take the top three of the industries and the pain points, and the three most expensive pain points that we've been able to ascertain from this, back of the envelope gut check um, document that we have. And then we go and speak to, so you, the client, because it's your network, go and speak to at least 5 decision makers in each of those industries, so that we can understand if our assumptions are correct. If these are the pain points, what are the purchase triggers? What's the decision tree, who goes to where and who has to decide and who has to approve, and what's the budget, and what truly is the most expensive pain point out of the 3 in that industry that they would hire someone like you for. Now, a lot of clients have said to me, Chala, I've hired you because I don't even know where to find these decision makers. And let me tell you, they are hanging out with their own industries in their own organizational their own associations, organizations, their own trade shows and networking, their own education, and their own annual parties for their own networks of their own industry. And they are hanging out together. So they are easy to find. Now, even if you knew nobody in that industry, there are people that that work with someone in that industry, and so on. Once you have a clear set of industries, like 3 industries that you're going to hit, it is very, very easy from then on to be able to pinpoint exactly where to find them, because they are hanging out. They are virtually and in person hanging out, and you will find them. And we have with many clients. One client had just retired and wanted to launch into a completely new industry that she knew nobody in, and she was living in a very remote area, and she was still able to do it. Other clients have moved to different countries and wanted to do this, or to different areas, to different geographical areas, and wanted to do this. Or other clients have wanted to develop new niches and new industries that they, again, had nobody they knew in. And it all works because it's a funnel that is very easy to pinpoint and to map out once you know who the industry is and where they're hanging out, because every information is available for us to find them. Now, why do we do this now? Why do we talk to the decision makers? One is to see if you truly have access to them. So it's really interesting because people who want to pursue an industry, just like my client who wanted to pursue the physicians, but saw that she didn't have easy access to them, she no longer wanted that to be her super niche. But unless we did this exercise, she would never have known that. If it just stayed as a guess, because, there's so many, there's 30,000 physicians in my area, I can target them. Well, if it stayed, behind your computer kind of strategist, which I've actually had the misfortune of hiring, is they do the strategy all behind their keyboard and then they hand it to you and you're supposed to go off and run it, and it doesn't work. So that's why I want to litmus test the strategy of going to talk to 5 decision makers in each different industry bucket, so that you can find out whether first you have easy access to them. The second is to actually network with them and to get visibility and to talk about their pain. And they know that you're the person who can help them solve the pain. So you're right in front of them. So get visibility, and you're using your networks because of this exercise to get to them. So this is a very, sales 101 natural way to get in front of people that you want to target, who you think need you, and to talk to them about the pain, and not about selling to them, but to talk to them about what is the pain, what's it causing, how much is it costing you, and is this something that would help you? Then the next reason why I have you talk to 5 different decision makers is to validate their pain and their pain language, and also their pain cost, as I was saying. And then, of course, the biggest reason why we're talking to them is, to set the second sales meeting. So you do not go, and this is not a bait and switch where, we are fooling them into, giving you a sales meeting. It's not. If there is a connection, if there's a need, and if they want to, they will ask for that second meeting. And there are, questions that actually allow them to ask for your help in the next step to meet with them again. So these are some really powerful ways of not only getting in front of your target clients, finding out if they're your ideal target, and then finding out about their pain language, talking to them on a deep strategic level that most order takers and suppliers don't even think about doing. And you're actually setting up a second call because they're interested, because they've asked you for it. This methodology works so well. I have clients who are still using it, even though this is only just to find out all the information that we need for our marketing plan. And then, then we have, as a result of doing this survey, we have our super niche answer. And so then I have taken you through the whole how we assess your marketing and how you can assess your marketing the same way. And then the next step is we're ready for step 2 in our process with a client of designing your custom plan. I hope that was helpful for those of you who want to do it yourselves and to explain how we do it. And I can't wait to see you next week. Take care.